say, man? Welcome back to episode 25 of Check the Stats podcast, man. I'm your host, TCal. Here to the left, we got my co-host, Omari, and here at the bottom right, we got Big Versea, man. Original crew, back on, new week, man. How y'all boys living, man? We are excited. We got week 5 electric matchups. I mean, NFL is back. If it hasn't been back enough, but how y'all boys feeling about these week 5 matchups, man? It was a hell of a week.
Man, a lot of chaos, a lot of stuff to get into, a lot of things to unpack. But overall, it's electrifying. For sure.
Nah, facts. Very electrifying, man. I can't wait to get into this shit for real.
Like they say, we ain't got nothing else to wait for. Shoot, you can get right into it, cause I'm ready.
All right, bet. Hey, first news, big news, man. This was random. All right, so what do y'all think about the Jets firing Robert Saleh?
First off, Robert Saleh, he needed to be honest, he should have been fired. I never personally thought he was a good coach. I think he is from a good system, of course, from the San Francisco system. Ran a great defense over there. Not saying that he wasn't deserving of the head coaching job in New York, which he is. Everybody deserves a first chance, but now seeing that, they kept him a little longer than expected. I feel like it was a bailout, though. I feel like it's a bailout to Aaron Rodgers and the offense's bad play. Because what do you bring? Let just I'm gonna break it down for a simple second. When you bring in defensive minded head coaches, what is their calling card? Defense. Their defensive coordinators becoming head coaches. So their strength isn't on the offensive end. Robert Saleh been holding his hand down from the jump. I mean, that Jets defense looks real. Like, it doesn't look like it did in prior years, but it still looks like a pretty good defense that looks like pretty well disciplined. That's strictly on offensive coordinator that Nathaniel Hackett and quarterback Aaron Rodgers. He literally got him fired. The only reason why Woody Johnson and the New York Jets kept Robert Saleh around was simply for the fact that Aaron Rodgers is hurt. He's waiting. Like, let's see how he looks with the competent quarterback taking snaps, and let's see how the team, the aura of the team is, what direction we're going in. And unfortunately, they wasn't going in the right direction. But I don't think Robert Saleh deserved the job after, with showing what he had with Zach Wilson and the other quarterbacks that came through New York. But also, I'm saying, shoot, if you get rid of him, why not get a Nathaniel Hackett as well? I mean, he's been horrendous since becoming an OC in New York last year. Like, you simply just hiring people just to be friends. Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett are best friends. They came from the Green Bay system together. The only reason why Nathaniel Hackett got a job as the head coach of Denver was because they was expecting to get Aaron Rodgers to Denver, which never happened. And they got rid of him in 1 year, and they got rid of him in the swiftness. So I'm like, at the end of the day, Robert Saleh, you was an scapegoat. You're not a good head coach. Let me just say that right now. You're not a good head coach, but you're a great defensive coordinator. Hopefully, somebody give you a chance to get back on your feet. I mean, shoot, I wouldn't be opposed to Houston giving him a chance. I'm not sure about this year, but eventually, I mean, San Francisco, DeMeco Ryans kind of go hand in hand, same system. I mean, hey, I wouldn't be opposed to him joining the Texans as a defensive coordinator or the assistant to the head coach or something of that nature, because he's not a bad defensive play call. But as far as head coaching, the keeping the team together, he's trying to be too buddy-buddy with the players and stuff like that. And sometimes, it's good to have a rapport with your players, but once it gets to the point of, okay, like, you're doing that, but what's going on in the field? Where's the results? We don't care about how good of a rapport you have with these guys in the locker room. We want to see what these guys are putting out on the field Sunday, Thursdays, and Mondays. So, but hey, bottom line, 20-36. He was 20-36 as a head coach for the New York Jets. That's abysmal. 56 starts, 20 wins. I know the quarterback situation is awful, but you got to do a better job too with the amount of talent that you have on your roster. But Me personally, I think it's safe to say that Devontae Adams should not go to that situation whatsoever. It's not a good situation. I don't think they're Devontae Adams away from a championship. I think they got a lot of internal things going on, and offensive line is awful. So New York, I mean, good riddance. Saleh, he's gonna fall on his feet as a defensive coordinator, be kind of a Brian Flores type. New York is in trouble, to say the least.
Yeah, I echo a lot of things that you said. I never really was the biggest beginner. I mean, not beginner, but biggest believer in the Jets from the jump. And I got a track record of that. But I guess this kind of highlights the level of dysfunction that they have as an organization. Robert Saleh being fired to me is shocking only because it didn't necessarily happen in a time frame I would have expected. With his level of poor winning percentage over the past few seasons, you would have expected it to be happening sooner within the whole Zach Wilson saga. Or if you wanted to look at the results and if it didn't work favorably for them, then you would expect it to happen towards the end of the season, maybe after a failed Super Bowl run, failed playoff run, just if they don't meet their standards that they set as an organization. But Robert Saleh is nothing more than a scapegoat for a lot of internal issues going on in the Jets. And it kind of goes back to highlight something that I said previously with Aaron Rodgers being the guy under the most pressure, because it's not just because they were expecting to be, treating him as if he's the savior of the Jets organization as a whole. It's alongside the fact that they literally gave him the keys. They brought in Nathaniel Hackett. They brought in guys like Alan Lazard. Before they got rid of him, they brought in guys like Randall Cobb because they wanted to make Aaron Rodgers as comfortable as possible, because they wanted him to be theoretically get the most out of him production-wise. And the best way that they felt doing that is by making him feel cozy and right at home in New York. And with the level of play that they got from quarterbacks in the past, they felt like they were one quarterback away. Robert Saleh was doing his thing to a serviceable level on the defensive end. They got the weapons on offense for sure. So, in theory, a quarterback would be the guy that was going to get the job done. Well, when you have a defense that's giving up only 10 points to the likes of the Denver Broncos and holding guys like Bo Nix to negative passing yards in the first half and 60 passing yards in a game with only one total touchdown, and you can't squeak a win, that's not on Robert Saleh. When you're going up against the likes of the Vikings, having them take multiple trips down the field but only managing to get one touchdown and 3 field goals, essentially a 2-possession game, just for them to not only lose by 6 points, but also get into a position where they literally gave the defense a touchdown by throwing a pick six, 3 turnovers, 2 in the first quarter. That's not on Robert Saleh. That's on A-Rod. They gave you the keys to the operation, and you were supposed to hold it down and elevate them to a higher level. For Robert Saleh to get fired in a manner that he did, to where they have the same record, essentially what they had in previous seasons at this point of the season, it's asinine. I'm not even going to lie to you. It's amazing that they let him go, and they're literally a win away next week from being first place in the division. Like, this is a competitive team from the likes of, not in my personal opinion, of being Super Bowl caliber or playoff caliber, but I mean, they could shock me and prove me wrong. They could put the Jets on the map for sure, just off of the level of play that they've been getting, because they feel like they're a couple of pieces away as far as like fixing certain problems. But in my opinion, getting rid of Saleh is not one of them. Maybe not at this juncture of the season. Maybe later, or if you was going to get rid of him early when you was going through that Zach Wilson saga, because right now it doesn't make any sense to me. I honestly feel bad for him. But when you're dealing with the likes of Aaron Rodgers, what can I say other than I'm not surprised?
Well, Charles, I got a great question for you. And Omari, you can chip in right after I'm finished with this one. But do y'all believe that defensive coordinators aren't or shouldn't have the same opportunities to receive head coaching opportunities as of the likes of offensive coordinators? Because as we see, a lot of organizations doesn't like to go in the direction of hiring a defensive minded head coach. So what are your thoughts on Do you believe that defensive coordinators should get a little less consideration for these head coaching jobs?
No, I don't think that there's a correlation between that. I mean, you look at the likes of us with D'Amico Ryans, and look at the likes of other teams that had successful years with defensive-minded head coaches. I know they're far and few in today's modern NFL, but if you think that it's not going to be possible to have a Super Bowl caliber season or contender level season with the defensive mind at the helm of things, then that's just not the case. I think it's probably that perception given how geared we are towards the offensive side of the ball. So you probably want someone that's going to be kind of in line of putting points on the board. But from the standpoint of just getting the ship righted for whatever team, whatever organization, not even just the Jets, but anyone specifically, I mean, it's possible for it to be successful. I mean, look at the likes of Dan Quinn. I mean, you seen what he was doing when he was in Atlanta. You seen his track record when he was in Seattle. I mean, when he was in Dallas as well. And now look at what he's doing in Washington when Jaden Daniels. I mean, that's a defensive mind. And you see how successful that team is to where they might mess around and win the NFC East. I mean, whether they're contenders remains to be seen. But from the standpoint of a defensive mind getting the opportunity for a head coaching job, I mean, it's definitely possible, and it should be on the table for sure for any organization looking for someone. I think it's just a matter of the right fit for your organization at the end of the day.
I think you need to have a hell of an OC though. Like I feel like D'Amico with Bobby Slug. I mean, from last year, he was in the front lines of head coaching jobs. And now this year, he kind of get a little backlash for some decision making. But like even with Dan Quinn, he brought in Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, all great. He's a quarterback guru. I mean, he made his bones off of. I mean, I'm pretty sure Omari, you should know this. Johnny Manziel from Texas A&M to Kyler Murray to quarterback guru. And shoot, Dan Campbell. I mean, I'm not sure what do we believe his identity is? Offense, defense. What was his prior position in the league before becoming head coach in Detroit?
I'm not entirely sure on my head.
Before coming into Detroit,
yeah,
I want to say he was defensive. He was a defensive coordinator, right?
I would think so because he got Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I'm going to say. I think he was a defensive coordinator.
But I think that defensive-minded head coaches, they're more, how can I say it? They're geared for success with good OCs. I don't know if it's entirely them. I think the OC that you bring in is really important, like Dennis Allen in New Orleans. And what's his name? It's a Kubiak.
Clint
Kubiak. So I think it's a lot about the OC as well. But go ahead, Maury. Give us your analysis on what you think about this Robert Saleh firing.
I was going to elaborate on the defensive coordinator, head coach thing.
Go ahead.
Cool. With that, I feel like, I agree with you. I feel like as a defensive-minded head coach, bro, you do have to have one hell of an OC. I mean, you look at guys like Mike Tomlin. I feel like he's a defensive first type of coach. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we can see that with the Steelers. They've always been a cold defense. They've always had a good defense. But yeah, I feel like you do have to have one hell of an OC, bro. Like Dan Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Like, great example. Like you can see that the Lions, their offense is like very explosive, and everything just fits. It fits perfect. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like with that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you do have to have one hell of an OC because as a defensive-minded coach, I feel like they know a lot about the offense, you know what I'm saying? Like the schemes and everything, but they don't know, like, they may not know, like, how it flows and everything in that nature, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about that. But
Dan Campbell, he was an assistant coach for New Orleans from 2016 to 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Tight end coach from 2011 to 2015. Interim head coach in 2015. So I mean, I'm assuming he was on the offensive side. I mean, He was
Dan Campbell was a defensive. I want to say Dan Campbell played defense when he was in the league. I want to
Nah,
say.
he was tight end. He was tight end. He was tight end.
I think I think what it is just you treat it like any relationship, even outside of the game of football. It's
Tight end.
marriage. I mean, if you got to find the perfect fit, I mean, look at the likes of offensive minds like Andy Reid. You got the perfect marriage with Spagnola. You got what Dan Campbell's doing with Ben Johnson. You mentioned D'Amico Ryans with
Bobby
Bobby.
Stewart.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it like this. That goes for both ways, like on the defensive side too. Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury. You got John Harbaugh and his long list of OCs that he's had in Baltimore. Mike Tomlin and how, albeit mediocre, his teams.
We'll pump the brakes on that Mike Tomlin. I just think Mike Tomlin a hell of a coach. I mean, it's a reason why them OCs be in and out of there like the days in the week. They're not that good. If they were that good, they'll keep them. But I don't think
that's fair. He's had a lot of marriages and divorces with his offensive coordinators. But either way, I mean, there's a level of success that you got to kind of have, and that comes from that established relationship that you find with one side of the ball and the other in order for it to kind of be beneficial to your team. And every team's identity is different. So in order for you to get the most out of your squad, you got to find that perfect balance between both sides of the ball.
And also, I got another thing before Mario, you elaborate on your thoughts on this Jets stuff. But the Jets, if the reports are true that y'all had to get Robert Saleh escorted out of the building with security, y'all are a shameful organization. Very shameful. I mean, you don't even give him the decency to say goodbye to his players, let them know what's going on. You fire him without second thought, which obviously you have all the right to. I mean, you're the owner. You can do as you please. But as far as how you go about it as a professional, that was, if that is to be true, that y'all gave him y'all escorted him out of the building. Like he didn't have a chance to even communicate with the guys, let them know what's going on. I mean, that was very classless of the New York Jets. I mean, it's a reason why y'all been a pretty poor organization for these past. I can't even tell you how long it's been since the Jets been any type of relevant. Probably since the Mark Sanchez days, and shoot, them days was very slim. So if that is to be true, y'all deserve every bad thing that's going your way because y'all just don't treat people like that, even if they aren't producing at the level that you want them to be doing at the time of them being there. I mean, it's always a way to, go about your business and a professionalism that you have to carry. And if y'all did him the way that the reports are saying, I mean, that, hey, very classless. And if y'all have another shitbag gear with Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback, then it's well deserved. And I'm low key rooting for it too.
Damn, that's insane. I didn't even know about that. Nah, if they went about it that way, man, that's like the uttermost disrespect towards a man, bro. Like, I was surprised about the firing as well. You know what I'm saying? I knew he wasn't doing as good as their head coach, man. But like, still though, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like I say, like he was a scapegoat in that situation, which is crazy as hell, bro. Because like yes, he's had like struggles with the past QBs and everything like that, but I don't know, bro. I feel like this is more like the higher ups of the Jets organization, like their decision. Like, what do y'all think about that? Like,
I think they tired of being laughing stocks of the league. I think they think that they have a lot of talent on their team, but they're not getting the results for the amount of talent that they have on their team. And quite frankly, I mean, their defense is pretty loaded. I mean,
yeah,
they're not the same from last year, but they're a pretty stout defense. They're not, defense to laugh or scoff at it for sure, but it's always came down to the offense. I mean, the offensive line, to say that y'all brought in all these new guys and stuff, I mean, they get carved up week after week after week. The only good week that they had, they looked like Super Bowl contenders when they played the 1-4 Patriots, which is the worst team in the league, which is going to be getting either off Will Campbell from LSU or Travis Hunter from Colorado. So, I mean, it's safe to say we know how bad they are. They're in the likes of getting generational talents like those two guys.
Yeah.
But it's always offense. It's never been a defense. So that's why it's kind of hard. It was hard for me to be like, fire Robert Saleh. He's more of a defensive guy. I mean, I would think your
Right.
first thought would be moved towards Nathaniel
Nathaniel
Hackett,
Hackett.
OC. But I mean, obviously, blame comes first with your head coach, and then obviously they go down the list. But head coaches are normally the ones that's getting the blame, and especially in a market like New York. I mean, shoot, you on a time clock. Like if you're not getting the results in quick, you're out of there. Like it's New York City. It's a lot of pressure that comes with playing in big city markets or big markets in general. And New York is probably the biggest market. So I know he probably relieved to low key be relieved of his duties and go back to what's more natural for him being a defensive coordinator in a smaller market on top of that.
Yeah. I think rumor has it that the owner, Woody Johnson, used to be an ambassador for London or the UK or something like that. And he had his friends in attendance for that showcase against the Vikings. And it was a lot of pressure to where Robert Saleh was blindsided to if he was performing like poorly there, then there was going to be some serious repercussions. So I guess when he felt like his team got embarrassed in London, then it was like, okay, yeah, this is the final straw. Which if that's the case, then that just adds more fuel to the fire for why this Jets organization is just under this level of scrutiny and struggling over the past 15 years, almost 20.
But Charles, you know how goofy that sounds that he fired a coach. I mean, performance based, they haven't looked too good. But to be embarrassed in front of his friends and where was he at? France?
In London, the game was in London on Sunday. But hey, when you get an owner, you can make decisions like that. But sometimes the decisions that you make with the power you have ain't the best move.
Yeah, right about that.
Y'all ready to hit the next topic?
Yeah, go ahead.
22. Hold on, let me clock this segment. 22:18. All right, bet. All right, moving on to the next topic, man. Chiefs versus the Saints recap, man. What do y'all feel? What do y'all think about that game, man?
Chiefs. It hurts. It hurts.
5-0? Like that's crazy. I feel like that was a winnable game for the Saints, bro. I feel like they should have beat them. I really feel like that was a winnable game. They was playing pretty damn good. I mean, I know Derek. What the fuck? Oh,
Hey,
I know.
Mar,
Okay.
I think Mar, you were breaking up for a sec, so you're gonna have to repeat what you just said.
I was trying to say, you can hear me better now.
Yeah, you good. You like it froze for a little second, but you back.
Nah, I was saying, bro. I feel like that was a winnable. I feel like that was a winnable game for the Saints, bro. I feel like they really should have beat the Chiefs, and that was the time to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I know Derek Carr, he had some interceptions or whatever, but like, it still was. I feel like they still should have beat them, bro. You know what I'm saying? They were playing pretty damn good too. Like, defense was competing, offense was like going head to head with the defense, with the Chiefs defense. But I'm just like, damn, like, what is it? You know what I mean? But
Shoot,
yeah, that's
I
my
think
opinion now.
I think it's more of I think reality set in for the Saints. I don't think they're a good football team, quite frankly. We can't say the obviously the teams got a little harder. I mean, they first two games was the Cowboys, which obviously now we kind of all kind of seeing they're not that good. They're a pretty mediocre team. We're not worried about the Cowboys making any noise in the NFC shit or in the NFL in general this year. But I mean, they got the Panthers and the Cowboys week 1 and 2. Then they had Saints, Falcons, Chiefs. It's safe to say that the Saints aren't a good team. They're an average football team at best. They have an average quarterback. Derek Carr's average. And quite frankly, at certain point in times, he looks below average. What's your term?
Keep in mind, Carr just got hurt too, and he out for a couple of weeks.
Oh my goodness! And they was number 1, if not 2, on the Devontae Adams trade wish list. Safe to say he ain't going there no more. But back to the game.
Bengals.
Hey, that's a viable option as well. But the Chiefs, man, it's safe to say that that's the best team in football, and it hurts me to say because obviously I'm a Texans fan, and that's the team that we're chasing to in order to get to our ultimate goals. But I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, receiving options at a minimum. I mean, they bring it back. They look like I didn't know what year it was, 2009. I mean, 2019 or 2024. I'm like Kareem Hunt over 100 yards, Juju Smith-Schuster over 130. Travis Kelce can play football. I said, what is going on? Like, I mean, mind you, the New Orleans Saints have a bottom 5 pass defense. So, I mean, take of that what you may. They're not good against the pass. Playing against the best quarterback in the league, even though he's not having the best season, you're playing against the best quarterback in the league and the best head coach in the league. It was bound for the Chiefs to have an on game. It was bound for them to have it clicking on all cylinders. It didn't look pretty whatsoever. Do I think they will be the best team going towards the end of the year? Me personally, I don't think so. I just think that teams in the AFC aren't playing at their peak performance yet. And to be honest, I truly think that this is like the Chiefs' peak. Like, I don't think they could get any better than what they're showing us right now. Now, I could be wrong. I could eat my words, and I could fall flat on my face. But me personally, I don't think the Chiefs can play any better than what they have right now. I mean, their defense is. It's safe to say they're the best defense in the NFL. I mean, them and the Vikings, but obviously I'm taking the Chiefs all day. I mean, running the ball, forget about it. Kamara then came in. He came in on a heater. You know what Alvin Kamara's stats was leaving that game? 11 carries, 26 yards. 11 carries, 26 yards. They had that boy on clamps from start to finish. And you want to know what he did prior to going into the game? 15 for 83, 20 for 115, 26 for 87, 19 for 77. I mean, these are very productive days. And to say that he went into the Chiefs and got, stopped in his tracks. I mean, that defense is real. That defense is really real. I mean, Trent McDuffie had that boy. He had Olave in a child seat. He had him on child safety block. He couldn't get out of that. I'm like, man, I had one leg. Mind you, I put in 2 parlays. I had a 6-man and an 8-man. And when I tell you that a 6-man missed by 1, you know who that one was? Y'all can guess it because I'm pretty sure y'all know who it was.
Kamara.
Who you say, Charles?
Olave.
And it sure was. I had him for 60.5 yards, and he went for a whopping 10. 2 for 10, and he dropped the last one at the end of the game. I mean, just giving my money away, man. I would have been $150 richer if he would have just made that catch and kept that drive alive. But nevertheless, man, the Chiefs, it doesn't look pretty at times. It's not the most satisfying. Truthfully, it's annoying. But somehow, some way, they find a way to continuously roll over their opponents in the most heartbreaking ways. I mean, who in the hell is expecting Juju Smith-Schuster to go for what he just did yesterday? Like, he went 7 for 130. He had a longer 50. Like, he was killing them boys, bro. I'm telling you. Like, Travis Kelce, 9 for 70. I mean, Kareem Hunt, 27 for 102. Mahomes. Like, this team looks like the best team in the league, and it's not because of their offense. Their defense is live. Chris Jones is a maniac. Chris Jones is the best defensive player in football. He's better than anybody in football. That's probably one of the only players I know that can dominate a game. Like, he literally, when he says, okay, time's up, it's time for me to come and dominate, he will shut down your whole offensive scheme himself. You can't block him one-on-one. Maybe Trent Williams, maybe these top linemen and stuff like that, But even still, they're gonna have a long day with him because Chris Jones is that guy. He deserves everything he getting paid and then some. I mean, he's quite frankly a game breaker. And then you got Nick Bolton at the linebacker that's running faster than the running back. I mean, he's literally meeting them in these holes before they even get these balls in their hands. Pause. I mean, it's it's crazy, bro. It is crazy. And then on the back end, you got an all-pro slot cornerback in Trent McDuffie, which he's going to get his bag, and rightfully so. I mean, he's continuously week after week after week locking down number one receivers. I mean, this team is complete on defense and is getting there on offense. And as a team, that's truthfully all you want. If your defense is on, they'll keep your offense in a lot of games. The Chiefs haven't allowed a 28-point game in over 2 years. In over 2 years. A team hasn't scored 28 points on them in 2 years. That defense is serious. That defense is really serious. That's the best defense in football. Mahomes, it doesn't look Mahomesian, as in him throwing the ball 60, 70 yards down the field backwards with his eyes closed. I mean, it don't look like what we used to seeing Mahomes look like, but it gets the job done. It's still producing wins at a high rate. He's undefeated going into week 6, and he hasn't looked his best. I think the Chiefs are the best team in football. I think the Saints are a very mediocre team. I mean, they're going downhill with Derek Carr being out several weeks, and I'm scared to say it, but I mean, the 3P looks very, very, very live for them. Unless one of these teams in the AFC steps up their performance and even still shoot, I wouldn't even know if that's enough. But I don't want to jinx it because I'm a Texas fan. But quite frankly, I'm scared.
I won't go that far because every team has their weaknesses. But as far as how impressive the Chiefs looked against the Saints on Monday.
Wait, Charles, real quick before you go, what's the Chiefs' weakness in your opinion?
Well, I feel like they kind of share similar weaknesses to us in terms of not reaching their full potential. I mean, granted, they have the best quarterback in the NFL, but Mahomes, he's basically not looked like himself whatsoever at all. I mean, like, it's been 5 games. He's thrown an interception in each and every single one of them. That's not Mahomes.
I mean, but yesterday one, you can't say that was on him. That's a flat out drop. He flat out dropped that.
Oh no, that's a great play by the DB by getting that out of his hands, meeting him at the point of contact where the ball was there. But I mean, outside of that, though, I mean, the Chiefs. The scary thing about Kansas City is that for those that may not be, able to understand or grasp, it's like the Chiefs are in a position where they are able to dominate a game in ways that we haven't seen before from them specifically. Everybody's used to Mahomes launching the ball down the field to the likes of Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins and, Travis Kelce basically showcasing why he's the best tight end in the league, possibly in the history of the game in the NFL, depending on who you ask. Andy Reid dominating the game schematically on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, the running game, you plug and put in whoever you want in there, Pacheco, Damian Williams, all these guys, right? Well, now they're like, okay, yeah, our offense is going to take a step back, just a little tiny step back, but our defense is going to take 10 steps forward. Chris Jones, I mean, they're lining a defensive tackle on the edge and letting him get active and loose. I don't think y'all understand how rare that is. I mean, that's some stuff that you see from the likes of Aaron Donald. I mean, he's getting double teamed and he's still popping off on the screen. And this is from someone watching that's not even at those games. On the defensive side of the ball, you mentioned Nick Bolton as well, Trent McDuffie. Karlaftis is one of those guys, too, at that linebacker position for sure. Spagnuolo might be the best defensive coordinator in the game right now, and he showcased that on multiple fronts.
Wait, hold up. Now, I don't know about that. I mean, I could say he is personally he is a good defensive coordinator, but I mean, can we take into account his personnel that he has? I mean, he has arguably the best defensive tackle in it. I mean, I'm not even gonna say that. He has the best defensive player in the game, then he has. People don't give him enough respect, but Nick Bolton is a top 7. I mean, I can't even name 6 linebackers better than Nick Bolton right here, right now. I don't care about Pro Bowls and all this stuff. All I care about what I see on my screen. He flashes on my screen, so it's impossible for me to say that he's not one of them ones. Charles, you can correct me if I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong on saying Nick Bolton is an upper echelon linebacker, you now it's your chance to say no. But I mean,
no, I mean he's one of the ones for sure. I'm not gonna sit up here and disrespect him. I mean, truth be told, I mean I watched that game against Philadelphia in the Super Bowl, and truth be told, I thought he was gonna win Super Bowl MVP with his performance. I mean, he was electric. That's the first time I ever really put my eyes on him and seen what he was capable of doing, and he was a man amongst men, which is saying something. But I mean, kind of like any position, I mean, kind of like any coordinator, any coach, I mean, it's all about what you do schematically as far as what you want from your guys, what type of scheme you want them to run, putting them in the best positions to be successful. And while you could definitely pin the blame, or not blame, but credit for those upper echelon guys, Nick Bolton, Trent McDuffie, Chris Jones, I mean, a lot of credit has to be given to the defensive coordinator too, so I will give him
sure.
From the offensive standpoint, it's not the flashiest, and we all know that, but I want to point something out that's alarming. An NFL game lasts 60 minutes, right? The Kansas City Chiefs held the ball for 39 minutes and 56 seconds. That time of possession against a team like the Saints, who they don't have a great defense, but their defense is, they're not the worst in the world. They're okay. We see the type of people that make plays for them. They got some. They're okay. And they held the ball for double the amount of time that the Saints had the ball on their own, on their own volition. The Kansas City Chiefs are dominating in ways that are what to the average fan seem foreign based off of what we've seen over the past few seasons with Mahomes at the helm, with Andy Reid at the helm. Hell, for what it's worth, with Alex Smith at the helm. So for what the Kansas City Chiefs are capable of doing, this is a great showcase for finally seeing their level of domination. But instead of it from what we're used to, it's in a whole new manner for the average NFL fan. Some people may look at that as being, there's something off about them. But, to the likes of us, we kind of look at that as like, hey, this is just who the Chiefs are right now. This is their identity. And we've seen signs of that from last season with how heavily dependent they were on the defensive side of the ball, to where the offense doesn't need to go and drop 3, 4, 5 touchdowns just to give their team a chance. I mean, we've seen the Chiefs literally go into Super Bowls and the AFC Championship game and the divisional round and barely even squeak by off of maybe 2 touchdowns and great field position given to them from their defense. So this Kansas City team, while I'm not going to sit up here and crown them as repeat champs for the 3rd straight year, I will sit up here and give them credit by saying they are very, very live in that hunt for sure. And unless someone knocks them off their mantle, they could be on their way to a 3-peat.
If they 3-peat, I might have to end it all. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, I feel like what makes the Chiefs, like what's scary about the Chiefs, man, is that they're so fucking unpredictable, bro. Excuse my language, but they're so unpredictable. Like Mahomes don't even look like Mahomes right now. He don't look like he's the best QB in the league right now, like we've seen him in the past. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's scary that they're still able to win games. You know what I'm saying? And that their defense is just able to lock shit up and make quarterbacks like fold, bro. Like it's scary, bro. It's scary, and they most definitely are contenders, bro. I hate to say it, but they are most definitely contenders. And yeah, Charles, it's crazy, but they might reach that Super Bowl again, man. They always find a way, bro. Like, you can't count the Chiefs out. I've learned that you can't count the Chiefs out.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, next topic.
Yeah.
Let me get okay. All right, moving on to the next topic, man. Texans versus the Bills recap, man. I'm gonna let my Texans boys talk about this. Y'all go ahead and handle that.
Oh Lord, it's always a frustrating day talking about my Texans, man. And I'm not going to sit here and say we didn't get better because we did. I think this game was probably the best game that we had so far as both units kind of seeing what we can be. Now, I'm not saying it was a perfect game because by all accountability, all accounts, it wasn't whatsoever. But we seen what it looks like when the offense is clicking and the defense is clicking. When Nico and that offense was out there, man, when I tell you, I lost my voice. Like I still don't got my voice back today, and it's Tuesday because of how electrifying he was. I mean, when CJ dropped back in that pocket and threw it over their head for that 67-yard, I lost my mind. I lost my mind. And when Cam Akers ran in that 15-yard touchdown, I got on my knees and I said, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus, that we can get some running action going longer than the line of scrimmage or a gain of 1 or a gain of 2. Because quite frankly, if you're a Texas fan, you know how frustrating it is watching 7 hand the ball off to 22, 33. It don't matter who in the backfield. They're going for negative yards, if not no yards. So to see us having a sliver of hope with our run game at the beginning was promising. But we got to keep it up all 4 quarters. And quite frankly, if Nico Collins had that big of an impact that our offensive performance drops off that tremendously, we have serious problems. There's no reason for us to be named the best receiver core in the league and the deepest. We have the deepest receiving core in the league for us to struggle as much as we did when Nico Collins stepped out. And I get Nico Collins is a top 3 receiver in the NFL at this moment. And that's not speaking crazy or whatever. Nico Collins played 9 snaps of offense yesterday. He's still the leading leader. He's the leading leader in receiving yards with 567 through week 5. And he played the first quarter. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say that he's one of the ones. It's safe to say that he's a top 3 receiver and he's not 3. And we can make an argument who's 2 and who's 1. I can argue. I go back and forth with anybody, but it's safe to say that Nico Collins is somebody not to be messed with. He is a legitimate number 1 receiver, and the league is finally giving him what's due. But we have to put it all together. It doesn't look right. I don't know if we're missing our guys. I mean, Blake Fisher, special shout out to you. I know offensive linemen don't get a lot of love. Blake Fisher, you held it down when Titus was out, and you looked pretty good while doing it. We weren't expecting you to be perfect, but you look really good, extremely good. I hope the Texans kind of take note of that and kind of give him more opportunities to show why he deserves to play. Because I mean, CJ for the most part, he was pretty clean, don't you think, Charles? I didn't really see him take too many sacks, too many hurries. I mean, he looked pretty protected for the most part.
Compared to the likes of what we've seen so far in the season,
weeks,
probably his best as far as like not getting a lot of pressure. He still got his fair share, but it's definitely better than what we've seen.
In the NFL, you can't expect, obviously, we can't sit here and expect a clean performance start to finish. I mean, NFL, defensive teams, our defensive units are going to get pressure. I mean, not to say we want it as often as CJ has to face it, but he's going to face a little pressure. But our defense, man, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to truthfully assess these guys because on one hand, it's like, okay, we come up when it matters the most. D'Amico dials up the perfect blitz at the perfect time and disrupts everything. But another part of me is sitting here thinking, how many big explosive plays we give up week on week basis, and the quarterback just can't make the throw. I mean, the quarterback, Josh Allen missed one this week. Trevor Lawrence missed one last week. Caleb Williams missed one the week before. Sam Darnold didn't miss. So I'm like, we're getting beat off of these big explosive, but these quarterbacks aren't completing the play. And for me, I'm not going to sit here and be naive and sit here and say, like, oh, my gosh, like, we just look amazing. Now, do we look good? Yes, we do. I'm not going to sit here and take away credit from that unit. That unit, to say that we're not getting the sacks that we would want to see out of Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter and those guys, that's one thing. But the pressure that they're bringing is live. We see it on the screen. We see it. Charles has been to the last 2 games. Were you at this previous one, Charles?
I've been to every home game so far. Trust me, that pressure is there.
Yeah, we're bringing that pressure. D'Amico's doing a great job bringing blitzes from different angles. But we have we will not beat these good teams if we keep allowing these big explosive plays. That week 1 it happened. Like in week 1, Anthony Richardson missed some throws too as well. But the only reason they stayed around because of the big explosives. Now it's like a week-on-week basis where they're like Josh Allen missing explosive. Then the next quarterback makes it explosive. I mean, we have to be disciplined. We can't get too nosy. We have to prevent the big explosive because I promise you, one of these weeks, one of these quarterbacks are going to connect on these deep balls, and it's going to hurt so bad. And Texas fans are going to be like, we haven't gave up the big play all year. In reality, we done gave up multiple big plays. These quarterbacks just not accurate. But CJ Stroud is the real deal. If anybody sit here and says sophomore fluke or whatever you want to call it, I mean, he is the real deal. I mean, to say that he basically has he has the whole team on his plate. There's no run game. There is 0 run game. Bobby Slowick, I mean, you have to run it a little bit to keep him honest, but there's no run game whatsoever. But we have a quarterback. We have the weapons. We need to get Tank involved. I don't know what's going on. Charles, is he not winning? Is he not what's going on? Why can't Tank get the football? I don't know. I don't have no idea why he can't get the football. Is it scheme? Is it he's just not the same player? But I mean, as far as his production from last year to this year, I mean, it's night and day. I don't know who Tank Dell is anymore.
I think it's just a level of opportunities. Nico's ascension and Diggs kind of gelling into his role so effortlessly. I think it kind of just takes away from what the level of production we could get from him. But also, I think it's the way that Bobby Slowick kind of uses him. Like last year, he was kind of treated more like a receiver in my eyes, and now he's kind of treated more like a gadget guy. I mean, how often do we see him running these orbit motions, these jet motions, these quick old screens, just get the ball in his hand and let him make someone miss in open space and see what happens type deals. Like, at least from my opinion.
It's just disappointing, man. It's very disappointing. I just want, and hopefully, I pray Nico can come back because, I mean, if he was to stay on track, he was going to be the first 2,000-yard receiver in the league, and it's safe to say that he would have got that if he. I mean, let's be honest, bro. He was going for 200 yards against the Bills. He had 78 yards in the first quarter. 3 quarters of football to play, and CJ threw for 335. You don't think Nico would have at least went for another 100 ball? He's the king of zone coverage. You run zone coverage, he's gonna always find the soft spot. And on scramble drills, I mean, him and CJ is the best connection in football. I mean, there's no better 1-2 duo than Nico Collins and CJ Stroud. But I mean, to keep it short, our team, we look better, but we're not at our peak of what we're supposed to look like to be a serious championship contender. So, I mean, I guess it's a little optimism for that because obviously you don't want to be playing your best football at week 5. You want to be playing your best football toward December and January. So, I mean, I guess it's something to look forward to. Defense, we got to. I mean, we're looking straight. Josh Allen 9 for 30. 9 for 30. 9 for 30. We're not talking about September 30th. We're talking about 9 passes completed for 30 attempts. It's safe to say, nigga, you suck. Who you suck? Who you suck so bad? But it's safe to say, man, that defense is live. That defense, to all the explosives that's not happening, they hold down the end of the bargain. We just need the offense to come along, and the Texans will be a really good explosive team and a viable threat to come out of the AFC.
I come out of this game with a couple of different outlooks, but overall, I shared a lot of similar points. Uh, I like to be the realist out of the Texans fans. I'll start off with the cons. If if we don't inflate the value of a quarterback, which is deserving, but if we don't inflate the quarterback's value on the team, then Nico Collins is looking like the most valuable person on the roster. And that is scary because the way that our offense has looked in the first quarter versus the way it looked for the past 3 quarters is like night and day. It is insane. The offense stagnated for 3 quarters, and we just literally kept shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, that in the first half, we had that fourth down. We could have bust the game wide open, kind of similar to what the Ravens did, and we got that stop. Well, we got stopped, I should say. Bills ended up scoring on that drive. The fumble inside the 10-yard line, see that we can't have that. I understand, but you can't have that. The interception with the opportunity to, you know, take the lead with a touchdown, we can't have that, CJ, as well. Um, the intentional grounding when we're in field goal range that put us out of field goal range, that made us punt just to be in an opportunity to kick a field goal, worn out all the clock, be in field goal range. That intentional grounding knocked us out to where we punting from damn near the 50-yard line. We can't have that. Robert Woods, what are you doing receiving that punt inside the 5-yard line? We can't have those type of mistakes. You might as well just let that go or fair catch that bad boy. But you out here playing with fire, my guy. And then as far as what the defense was looking like from that side of the ball, I mean, a lot of those throws that Josh Allen missed, those are throws that he is more than capable of making. I mean, I don't know why. And not only that, it's like I don't know why it took us until the fourth quarter to have a QB spy. I mean, this man had rushing lanes upon rushing lanes. And I don't know if he was just, tentative with trying to take the ball and put it in his hands and go past the line of scrimmage going for the first down. But he had multiple rushing lanes. I'm talking about it's insane. We playing this perfect coverage, and then we see, big number 17 jogging with the ball in his hands, scrambling for a first down, scrambling for 10, 15 yards. I mean, that's demoralizing for a defense that's doing their job just for it to not mean anything because he's able to leak out. But you're right. This is the best game we've seen from the Texans. This is the closest thing to a complete game we've gotten so far. Every phase in their own way shine. The first quarter belonged to the offense. The rest of the game belonged to defense, and the fourth quarter belonged to the special teams. I think the defense answered the call of duty. I mean, for what it's worth, they were put in some pretty unfavorable positions. I mean, when CJ Stroud fumbled the ball, when I tell you my heart dropped, oh my God, they were in the red zone. They were, I think, damn near inside the 10-yard line. And for first and goal, shut down James Cook, who was having a day, by the way. Second and third down, we ended up forcing incompletions, and we only gave up a field goal that led them to tying the game. They had all the momentum in the world, and it was gaining up to that peak. And for us to be asked to hold the line, and for us to do that, that is incredible. Stroud, he had a great game in my opinion. It was underwhelming towards the end because of the turnover. We can't have that, and then the intentional grounding, as I mentioned. But when necessary, he was effective as hell. I want to give a shout out to one guy for all the additions that we got. The shiny toys the Texans have had. We got Joe Mixon in the backfield. We got Stephon Diggs coming to town. We got Daniil Hunter finna wreak havoc. Azeez Al-Shaair wasn't getting the love that he was deserved. This man here, the day before the game, was in the hospital for nausea. Brody lost 10 pounds and was unsure of being able to play in this game. And what does he do? Leads the team in tackles. Should have had 2 picks and back-to-back plays. Was a demon in the run game. Was electric in hawking down Josh Allen. Got himself 2 QB hits as well. This dude, Texans, he's one of them ones. And when all things considered, when Christian Harris gets back, the league might look out for what potentially could be the best linebacking core in the league. And
Charles, do you think that Christian Harris coming back is going to push Henry To'oTo'o to the bench, or do you think that he's going to have to find his role within what we have already established?
I feel like they should rotate, bro.
I feel like I think it's kind of hard for them to rotate, but I think that you'll see a lot less nickel packages and a lot more base 3-4 or 4-3s, I should say. I think you gotta have those guys because Toto's been playing excellent. Like I had faith in him from the jump, and Aziz has been balling, and we all know what Harris represents. I think it just depends on what they want to do schematically because we are undersized for a defense, but I think we've been playing well above the standard that even I predicted.
And Charles, let's think about the Nico Autry comes back after this week. The Nico Autry, I'm assuming Christian Harris coming off of IR after not this week, but I'm assuming next week. Joe Mixon, I mean, quite frankly, we could leave him on the bench for this week. He can come back for next week. I mean, hopefully Nico is not that severe. I mean, as bad as I do want him to play this week against New England to keep his receiving stuff going on, I mean, we should prioritize our players' health. And obviously, this is like a bye. I mean, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to put bad voodoo in the air because you know how that go. Every time you think it's a layup, it's a trap game. So I'm not going to sit here and disrespect the Patriots, but I mean, it's safe to say, bro, we're not even nowhere near full strength. And we're I mean, I think we can say that we're Super Bowl contenders. I mean, we look like Super Bowl contenders because nobody has looked just great as of yet. Like, we can't just sit here and say one team that's looked perfect, polished from week 1 to week 5. And the only closest thing you can say is the Vikings, and the Vikings look pretty bad in London, offensively at least.
I think that's completely fair. I want to highlight another thing too. This is back-to-back weeks where we showcased a bit of a strength of ours that we never really had before. So our clock management skills got to be highlighted, fam. The way that the game ended versus the Bills and the way that the game ended versus Jacksonville is the excellent use of how we are able to manage the clock. Jacksonville was trying to just air it out, left too much time on the clock. And what did we do? We didn't score too early. We ended up driving down the field, waiting until less than 20 seconds got on the clock. They used all their timeouts because that's what you expect the Jacksonville to do. And we got that ball in the end zone. The Bills, terrible clock management versus our good clock management skills. They threw the ball 3 times. They didn't want to go to overtime. Punted the ball. Robert Woods didn't want to go east or west. He got north, immediately got down on the ground. CJ, you seen he wanted to scramble. He dumped it off to Ngumbawale immediately. Ngumbawale got down, timeout. We just in range for Kyrie Fairbairn, who is now the all-time leader in scoring for the Texans. So shout out to you, my boy. Our clock management
kicker.
Yeah, you can make an argument for that for sure.
After Aubrey and Dallas, he's the best kicker.
You can make an argument for sure, and I will not fight you on it. I think that this is the most complete game we've had this entire season, and for me to even say that and know that we haven't even played truly 100% complete game, I think we still have some levels that we got to go to, and we probably are expected to get to that level versus New England because after we play the Patriots, the schedule, things start to get a little bit like we see them big boys. We see the Colts soon, and they're not big boys or anything like that, but they're divisional. You know how that goes. We see the Lions, we see the Packers. We see some teams, and we're going to have to try to get those things cleared up if we want to be in a position of not only winning the division for sure, but being in position to get a number 1 seed in the AFC. We have to clean up those things. We'd like to have Nico Collins back. We'd like to have all these guys that's injured back against New England. But theoretically, without trying to put bad voodoo in there, we want to be on the side of Aaron caution because I feel like we're talented enough to win that game without those guys. I think this is the best performance we've seen from the Texans this entire year, and we still got a little ways to go, but it's definitely a sight for sore eyes, most definitely.
I couldn't say it better myself, man. Bills. And one more, I mean, I guess I'll say this one thing before we go on to the next topic, man. The Bills. I'm not sure. I mean, I told y'all this last week, and you can quote me on this, but I said I don't know if the Bills are a good team. I said they played Jacksonville, Miami, and the Cardinals. And I mean, it's safe to say after 5 weeks of football, those aren't world beaters. I mean, the Cardinals beat the 49ers, which also I called. Y'all can quote me on that as well, but I called the upset. I said the 49ers are going to lose to the Cardinals, and it happened because I said that I don't think they're the same team. But the Bills, hey, y'all should have kept on to that boy 14. Now number one for us. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that Stephon Diggs is the same receiver as he was in Buffalo because he has lost a step. I'm an honest Texas fan. And I'm saying Stephon Diggs has lost a step. He don't look like old Stephon Diggs, but he looks pretty damn better than anything else they got in Buffalo right now. That's for sure. So I think Josh Allen is really going through the effects of trying to take that next step in his quarterback journey. As okay, I was relying on a number one receiver to help me with my progression. Now I can make somebody else my number one receiver. I can elevate the play of others. And right now I don't see that from Josh Allen. I mean, also the receivers aren't really that good. Keon Coleman can't separate from me. And I haven't played football in probably about 8 to 9 years. I mean, it's a lot of players on that Buffalo team. I mean, Khalid Shakir, he didn't play, so I could sit there and say that his number one receiver didn't play. But I mean, it's not a lot of options to look forward to when the defense that they playing get a little more realer. So I don't think Buffalo is that good of a team after 5 weeks of football. I don't. I mean, it doesn't look pretty. It's gonna have to be a Josh Allen put on his Superman suit and come save the day. And I'm not sure he can do that with this group.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we expected. I mean, when you take away his top two targets over the past few seasons and Stephon and Gabe Davis, the offense is going to look different. And they've tried to adjust to the best way possible. James Cook is looking like a madman on the run game. The offensive line, it is safe to say for the running game for sure, and the passing game for what it's worth is real. But when you don't have the adequate weapons that you can utilize to kind of pitch the ball anywhere that you want to, it looks rough for Buffalo for sure. Josh Allen, he's dynamic. I think we can all kind of sit up here and say that at worst case he's a top 5 level quarterback, but it's a struggle for him, especially with those weapons not
Omar,
around.
you said 7?
No, I was playing. He in the top 5 for sure.
I'm about to say, jeez.
I was playing.
Okay, I said, boy, Omar trying to be spicy today.
Hey, but nah, it's tough for Buffalo. It is kind of hard to kind of rate them because the teams that they've beaten, the best team is Arizona, and they're below 500. The teams that they've lost to, they're actually worth it down. So it's like, are you the best that the AFC East has to offer, or are you actually one of them ones? And I guess we get a chance to find out whenever they play the Jets soon. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, my fault. I had to put the timestamp on that mug. All right. Oh, wrong one. Fuck. What the hell? Okay, my fault. Hold up. My fault. Turn over. What this shit right? Hold up. I put the wrong timestamp on that. My fault. Okay. All right, moving on to the next topic, man. Here we go. Who's better, Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow? Let me hear y'all thoughts.
I'm so damn annoyed with this, and I'm not trying to sit here and just be the era of bad news and all that stuff, and sit here and demolish Lamar Jackson because I'm not. I'm saying this now. I'm literally not trying to bash this man at all. I'm just a realist that speaks my mind, and shoot, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, just like me. But Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, and the reason why this topic is even coming up is because they had a head-to-head matchup this week. Very electrifying. 79 points of offense, 41-38, Ravens win. But if you sit here and say that Joe Burrow didn't play an extravagant game, of quarterback play, and not to say Lamar didn't either, but if you sit here and saying that Joe Burrow lost that game, you're quite frank, you don't know football. You don't know football. One interception in the clutch. Okay, I understand. Accidents happen. Everybody throws picks. I'm not gonna sit here and excuse him of that. Like I was a bad. I can't even say that. Charles, would you say that was a bad throw when Marlon Humphrey picked him off? I just think that was good coverage. It's literally man to man throwing an end breaker, and he just picked it off. Was it behind him? Was it a bad throw? It looked, in my eyes, it looked like it was a pretty catchable ball. It was just good coverage.
Yeah, it was. Maybe when you're looking for an end breaking run, you want to throw it in front of the receiver, and Marlon just beat him to the punch, and he played sticky coverage, got his hands up, and walked away with that ball. So it wasn't a bad play on Burrow's part for sure. It was just a great play by Marlon.
So it's really annoying me how people sitting here, they've been blowing me up saying Lamar's better than Burrow. Lamar's the second best quarterback besides Mahomes. How? Just how? Lamar looked extravagant. With his legs to his extension of plays, making unbelievable plays. He was making throw after throw after throw. I don't give a damn about what Lamar does in the regular season anymore, quite frankly, man. I don't care about the playoffs because it's at the end of the day, these guys that I'm judging, the top guys, what do they all have in common? They have some sort of playoff success where they look good in their playoff games. I haven't seen Lamar Jackson look good in not one playoff game. Let me say a complete game. From start to finish, for the exception of that Tennessee game, not the first one, but the second one. But outside of that, I haven't seen him look good in those games. So I'm sick and tired of everybody continuously judging who's the better quarterback based off of regular season performance. Okay, Joe Burrow lost to Lamar Jackson. Whoop-de-doo. Was that? Can we truthfully say it was Joe Burrow's fault? The reason why they lost. A team put up his offense put up 38 points. And they lost. Can we sit here and just sit back and say, if your team is losing and your team put up 38 points, it wasn't your fault. Can we sit here and say that? If you lost to a team and you have 38 points, your defense ain't worth a damn. Your defense is shitty as hell. Your defense can't get a stop. 41 points. They put up 41 points. Cincinnati defense been a bottom 2 defense the whole year. A bottom 2. So to sit here and us crucifying Joe Burrow and saying that he's not that guy. He's not that guy. He's not. We're praising him because he went to a Super Bowl a long time ago. That's BS. He's that guy. It's a
people saying if niggas is saying if people are saying Joe Burrow is not him, bro. Hear this stat, bro. He had a 77.3 QBR rating, bro. 76.9 completion rate, 392 pass yards, and 5 touchdowns, bro. He did all he could that game, literally. So people that say that he's not good anymore, bro, they just don't know ball. And we gotta accept that. A lot of niggas just don't know ball, bro. That's just how it is.
And it's annoying. That's the main thing I get to. It's with Lamar Jackson, as great as he is, and he had a hell of a game. He would. That stiff arm he put on Sam Hubbard and that throw to Isaiah Likely in the end zone was spectacular. That was the best play of the weekend. It wasn't even close. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. Lamar looked great that game. But how many games, and y'all can answer this, how many games have we seen Lamar Jackson look great in the regular season? I don't have enough fingers to count how many great regular season games Lamar Jackson has played because he looked pretty damn good in the regular season. He has 2 MVPs for a reason. He looks pretty damn good in the regular season. I repeat. So, like, what are we like? Are we simply judging off of the fact, Lamar, you look good in the regular season? Here you go. Or are we judging off of, okay, Lamar, you look good, but how are you going to progress, or how is it going to translate towards playoff level ball? And quite frankly, I haven't seen y'all can jump in if y'all want to. I don't see any type of progression from Lamar Jackson from last year to this year. I mean, as far as passing wise, Lamar looks like the same. Lamar never been a bad passer. He's just not an elite level passer. So I never thought Lamar was just the worst thrower of the football, but he's by far not the best. His best attribute is his running ability, which he is, quite frankly, the best running quarterback in the league, and it's not even close. But what have we seen to say that it's going to be any different for the exception of not Lamar? It was the acquiree of Derrick Henry. I don't know, man. It's very frustrating with these conversations, these talks. You could say Lamar Jackson don't have the same weapons as Joe Burrow, but that's a BS argument. We're not going to continuously keep doing this argument. If Lamar Jackson had those weapons, he wouldn't even be able to get it to them damn weapons, because they'll run the ball so damn much that they'll be so pissed they'll have to go to the sideline. That's just not his game, and it's frustrating, man. It's very frustrating that we're continuously having conversations that try to decrease the value of Joe Burrow based off of the factors of his team. Like, Lamar played a hell of a game. He's a hell of a player. And I know it's hard for y'all to believe I'm saying that because everybody think I'm just a Lamar Jackson hater, but I'm not. But I think Joe Burrow is a better thrower of the football than Lamar Jackson, and that's just facts. And I think overall play as well. I'm taking Joe Burrow. Them MVPs don't do nothing for me, because at the end of the day, what does MVPs do? We've seen it with James Harden. We've seen it with Joel Embiid. It always ends up to what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You get the fame, you get the glory, you get the accolades, you get the hoopla, you get he's a top 5 player in the league. But what does that get you? Did that get you in the canon? No. What gets you in the canon is making it in February, close to Valentine's Day, and playing for the national championship or the Super Bowl. Let me say that. That didn't sound right. But Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson, and it shouldn't be close. But the fools on the internet gonna tell me it's close. So y'all have at it. I want to hear your thoughts on it,
man. You gonna be shocked, but even with the gap closing, it is Joe Burrow. For what it's worth, Joe Burrow lost that game, and we could sit up here and go with head-to-head and how he hasn't necessarily had his best showings versus Lamar Jackson, or how Lamar Jackson always ends up on the winning side of things more times than not. But, if we're looking at just this season alone, we don't even need to go to the past. I'm just looking at these stats. 72% completion percentage. Over almost 1,400 yards passing in 5 games. He's averaging 274 yards a game. 12 touchdowns, 2 picks. 12 touchdowns in 5 games after what was one of the worst games, and that's including his game against the Patriots. He's looked like the best quarterback of the season at times. And the only reason that this man isn't first place in the MVP discussion is because, quite frankly, he debatably has the worst defense in the NFL on his side. They're 1-4, and losers don't get MVPs. Lamar Jackson is as dynamic as ever, and I've gone to war against you multiple times and defended him and everything like that, but there's only a handful of quarterbacks that, in my opinion, is better than him, and I think I've made it clear, at least at some point over the past few episodes, that Joe Burrow is one of them. His playmaking in terms of it is not the most prettiest, but as far as the most production, it gets the job done. I think it definitely is a valid argument in terms of offensive scheme, but I mean, at the end of the day, that goes to identity as well. I mean, when you got debatably the best running back of the generation by far in Derrick Henry, you're not going to sit up here and throw the ball at least 30 times. You're going to put that ball in between his belly at least 20, and you're going to live with the results. When you got the weapons like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, you're going to play with those shiny toys that you got. So with it's tricky because the gap is closing, and when you add in a dynamic running ability, you could easily lean towards Lamar. And for what it's worth, Lamar has been playing in a spectacular level. He has in his losses, he hasn't played bad. I mean, you could obviously critique him in losses to, the Chiefs with missed throws and missed opportunities versus the Raiders. But I think he's played some of his best football this season so far that he's played since his 2019 season, which is honestly saying something. But with that being said, I mean, it's hard for me to sit up here and just definitively pick him over Joe Burrow as far as who's the best quarterback out of those two. It's difficult. The gap is closing and it gets more difficult by the day, but it's hard for me to just go get away from number 9 in orange and black.
No, I agree for sure, man. It's tough, bro, between those two because I really like Joe and I really like Lamar, bro. I mean,
You love
I
Lamar.
feel, I feel like Lamar's game is more. I feel like his game is more flashy, and it reminds me of like that Mike Vick. You know what I'm saying? That's what I grew up like watching. We all did. So it's like, but I gotta be like a realist and be like, okay, like Joe throws better than him. He makes better decisions than Lamar. You know what I'm saying? He analyzes the defenses better. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm making sense, like it's hard, bro. Like it's very difficult between those two, man. And even though that Lamar got the dub, that don't just make him automatically better than Joe because Joe had one hell of a game, bro. And he only had what 9 incompletions, right? I believe so. So it's like that's not even bad. He went 30 for 39. So yeah, he had only like 9 incompletions, bro. So it's pretty damn hard. I feel like people think Lamar has the edge on him because of his running ability. Like he's a dual threat quarterback. He can run the ball. He can throw that hell like not better than Joe, but you know what I'm saying. But Joe also has like his spurts as well, where he can bust out into a sprinting game, you a few yards. But I mean, if we talking like overall like passing ability, bro, like Joe has that man beat by a damn stretch, like a whole 100 meters. You know what I'm saying? So it's like different ways to like look at the game. So it's like real tricky between those two and saying like who's better. I feel like Joe better, but I feel like I'm just speaking off other people's perspective. You feel me? So
My
I
only
guess
thing with Joe Burrow and the Lamar Jackson argument is who's which how, and I want to perfectly say this because I want it to be loud and clear, and I don't want no like misunderstanding. But what team or who team needs? I'm trying to say. I'm trying to word it perfectly. Which team's identity is based off of their quarterback? Is it Baltimore or is it Cincinnati? Or who is more based on, not who's more based, but who is more reliant on their quarterback's ability to throw the ball in order to win the game?
the
That's
Bengals for sure.
that's Burrow.
To throw
Now,
the ball, yeah, it's
It's Burrow.
now I'm trying to break it down in the in the best way I possibly can, but it's no way in hell you can run your way to a Super Bowl, and it's I don't know. I feel like I'm beating on the dead drum, but it's no way in hell you can run your way to a Super Bowl. We have not seen it done yet. Jalen Hurts, only reason he got there was because of injuries. So you got to play the Giants and you got to play 49ers with nobody's at quarterback. You can't run your way to a Super Bowl. Their identity is based off of their quarterback and what he does best. And what does the quarterback? Wait. First thing first, both of y'all. When I hear quarterback, what do you expect a quarterback to do?
be able to throw the ball.
Charles.
Chris Paul, John Stockton, Steve Nash, Luka Doncic, distribute.
So when I'm looking at Lamar Jackson, is our first thoughts like, damn, he can sling the rock, he can get that bitch out to anybody. He's throwing it on the dime, or his first thought, dang, the one of the most elusive runners I've ever seen play football at the quarterback position. One of the best athletes I've ever seen play the quarterback position. Which one is it? Because I don't see a world where anybody in their right mind who's sober and thinking straight is saying that Lamar Jackson is one hell of a thrower over. He's a generational athlete. His legs are electric. You have to you damn near, if you don't got a quarterback spy on him, you're insane, or a quarterback contain. So I just want to know which one is it for y'all.
I mean, it's the latter, obviously, but like I feel because me and you disagree about this, so we probably would again. Like you, I feel differently about what they're capable of doing in terms of his identity being something other than an elite level passer, and him using his dynamic running ability and athleticism, leading him to a Super Bowl potentially. I feel like that's possible for him, but I do want to point out because you highlighted the game a couple of times about the head to head and how Burrow and people are kind of looking at it as Burrow lost in that game with that interception. I mean, keep in mind what happened to Burrow is the same thing that happened to Lamar Jackson over his tenure last season. They took the ball out of they took away his identity. Lamar Jackson basically lost the Ravens that game on Sunday with that fumble. He had two fumbles, and it wasn't just a highlight throw. It was the one in overtime, too. They got the ball inside around the 40-yard line, and the Bengals had the chance to get in field goal range or make it an easier field goal for McPherson. And what did they do? They went and put the ball away from number 9's hands and gave it the rock to Zach Moss 3 straight times. Long field goal, wide left, I believe. Put the ball in Derrick Henry's hands. Iced the game by Justin Tucker. So, like, for all the scrutiny that's given towards Joe Burrow and that interception, Lamar had an equally as bad turnover on his end of the bargain as well. So I feel like that's not a fair argument whatsoever.
Well, wait, I'm trying to wait. Hold on. Let me. You're saying it's not a fair argument for what?
For people to criticize.
Oh Burrow. yeah. I get you now. Yeah, for sure. But you know, it's gonna be a lot of dumb dumbs on the internet that's gonna sit here and say Joe Burrow won an interception. I mean, sure, you got Shannon Sharp, and I love Shannon Sharp. There's not no slight towards him, even though obviously he's probably not gonna see it. But I mean, it seems like he wants to highlight Joe Burrow's failure because he don't think that the media does it enough, but they want to highlight Lamar Jackson's failure. And I'm like, that's just not the case whatsoever. I'm like, you know, that's a topic for another day. Mari, you go to the next topic because I don't want to spend all day and all night on this because Lord knows I can. But
I'm down 123. Hold on. 26. Okay. Moving on to the next topic, man. We got TCal's top 5 power rankings. So I'm gonna let TCal hold that to y'all.
Hey man, back with another week 5 of TCal's top 5 power rankings, man. Oh man. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have pretty equivalent lists because Charles want to beat me so bad when it comes to rating this team, and he needs a good list to go off of. So he tried to copy mine, but trust me, it might look the same. Starting off at number 5, man, we got the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is starting to all click again. The run game, I can't really say the weapon part. I mean, we can say that it was a one good game against a very bad defense, but as far as the totality of the whole season, I don't like the balance and I mean, I guess their identity is run first, but it's just not. You can't win like that. You have to be able to get your pass catchers involved. Last week was a great example of what could be if they play against as bad as pass defenses as the Cincinnati Bengals, man. Moving on to number 4, I got my very own Houston, Texas, man. I can't put them higher than 4, and I want to so bad. I like, just because I'm a hometowner, but I'm a realist at the end of the day. Texans, we look good, not great. We, I mean, we're 4-1. I mean, we haven't played our best ball yet. C.J. Stroud, he's been good, not great. There's a lot of things we could clean up, but overall, I mean, I don't see a lot of teams that's going to be competing with us when it's coming down the stretch of the regular season, man. Moving on to number 3, we got the Detroit Lions. Detroit coming off of a bye week, but week before, man, I mean, looking great, looking absolutely marvelous, man. Jared Goff, 18 for 18, catching a touchdown, running game live. DJ Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs might be the best run. Or let me not say might. They are the best running back duo in the NFL, and it's not even close. Their offensive line is massive. They have all pros on there. They're moving guys against their will. Pass pro, run pro, you name it. You got all pros all over the field. I mean, slot receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all pro. Jamison Wilson going to be a Pro Bowler if he continues to play that he's keeping up. I mean, Laporta, I mean, he's a top 5. He's a top 5 tight end in the league. I mean, that team is stacked at every single position. Their defense is the only cause for concern. I think they can get it cleaned up. I mean, yeah, the defense it leaves a lot to be desired. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's only week 5 going into week 6. They come off a bye. Hopefully, they had enough time to get their defense reacquaintance of what the offense has going on. Hopefully, it's a sign for things to come. Moving on to number 2, man, I got the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota looks live on defense. Now, the offense this past week, it looked very scarce. Around that second half, the New York Jets put the clamps on them, which obviously New York is a great defense, but I mean, it was a showing out. I mean, it was how can I say this? A realist time for Sam Darnold showing his true colors. I think Sam Darnold, obviously he came out to the hot start, but I think he kind of coming down to earth now. I don't think he can play that level of football for the entire season. I mean, I think he's an okay quarterback. Do I think he's a franchise leader? No, not whatsoever. I don't think he's that guy. But, I mean, other people have the opinion to think otherwise. They're 5-0. Their defense is amazing. Brian Flores, I know you're not going to be getting another head coaching job because you want to sue the NFL, but you want a hell of a DC, man. You one guy I would never want to face because you're literally like Madden. You're running Madden defenses. I mean, please stop. And at number 1, man, we got the defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, man. Kansas City. I mean, it's annoying. I know it's tiring saying the same thing over and over and over again. But defense, they have the best defense in the NFL, and I think it's undeniable. Offense, it's not fully together yet whatsoever, but their run game is live. Their run game is live. Their identity isn't strictly off of Mahomes dropping back and saving the day. If Mahomes want to sit back under center, hand that bitch off to whoever back there, shoot, it could be Omari back there running the ball 20 times. He going for over 80 yards. That's how good that offensive line is. Their play action game is working pretty good. I mean, they don't even have their top 2 pass catchers, and Mahomes still throwing for over 300 yards. Just imagine when those guys like Xavier Worthy and Juju or whoever else they pick up, because obviously more help is coming on the way with Rashee Rice. Injury reported that he's going to be likely out for the rest of the season. So I say that the Chiefs are by far probably the most complete team, and quite frankly, the most scariest team. I mean, for each his own, but I know what I mean. I've been observing the league from this point of view for a little while, and I know what a championship, what a championship team looks like, and that looks like a championship contending team for sure. Once again, so my 5 teams are 5 Baltimore Ravens, 4 the Texans, 3 the Lions, 2 the Minnesota Vikings, and 1 the Kansas City Chiefs. Guys, your thoughts?
I ain't got no problem with the list. I mean, perfect.
Uh, I got a similar list to you. Only slight changes. And honestly, if there was an honorable mention, I would have a tie at 5.
Who would it be?
Washington.
Mm,
That ain't bad. Not bad. Okay. I
nah,
forgot about Washington. God damn,
nah,
I forgot about them.
nah,
Yeah.
Charles. Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Now I
Uh,
want to. I for sure want to. I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't, but nah, we can't. You can't do that.
I want to, but what gives me hesitancy on the Commanders is the quality of opponents that we've seen. But I have them tied with the Ravens at 5 because as impressive as Baltimore has looked over the past 3 weeks against, I'm assuming 3 teams we probably would project to go to the playoffs at the beginning of the season. But we talked about the identity of that team being defense, and they have not showed up hardly at all this season. And that's scary because we expect so much from them. Their defense is not good this year. Um, I have the Lions and the Texans swapped. And I guess that's probably the bias in me from Houston because I really do like what I've seen from them against the Bills. For the Lions standpoint, their defense does need to get fixed to a certain aspect, and then their quality of opponents hasn't necessarily been the greatest either. They go up against the Rams team who during the game is depleted. You go up against a Cardinals team that, they're scrappy, but they're not necessarily world beaters. And then you go up against the Seahawks team whose defense looked putrid, but I will give them credit if you put them at number 3. I wouldn't fight you on it because they do have what could be the most dynamic offense in the league in terms of what it could look like with their passing and running game, which is scary. And then Chiefs and Vikings. I mean, you could flip flop that either way because the Vikings. You could argue that those 2 teams have had the toughest schedules in the league up to this point, and the fact that they're 5-0 unscathed is a miracle in itself for both squads. So, yeah.
So Charles Mara, where would you give the grade?
You want me? Shit, I get that hell like a. I get that hell A. I get that hell A. Ain't nothing wrong with that list. I fuck with that. It's just on point. I mean, I can't argue with that list, man. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I like how Charles brought up Washington because Washington is 4-1 right now. I know we're not going off record, you know what I'm saying, but they do look good. They do look good. But overall, I ain't gonna lie, I get that hell A.
Versea.
Yeah, it's cool. Nah, it's a solid list for sure. I get it. I give it like a 9 out of 10. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, so 8 too. Okay. What they
Hey,
say
don't get too high hook.
TCal is out cooking, man. Mar, you go on to the next topic, man.
Yeah, let me put this time segment down. What this hell is.
133-10.
Okay, good. All right, moving on to the next topic, man. The Cowboys. Are these boys pretenders or contenders? Let me hear y'all thoughts.
I mean, I don't think we don't even got to take too long on this, truthfully. I mean, these are the biggest pretenders in the NFL, and it's not even close. The Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Can we start there? Dak Prescott he don't look good. He don't look good. He won that game against Pittsburgh. He late game heroics, but he played pretty damn ass prior up to that point. I mean, run game, non-existent. Can I repeat? Run game, non-existent. I mean, Jalen Tolbert, he showed up. I mean, it's another receiver outside of CD Lamb there. I mean, I like Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson is a really good tight end. I think he's very underrated. The defense is that's not the same defense whatsoever. Micah and D-Law missed last week game. And shockingly, they did a pretty good job of stopping the run. I mean, to what it's worth, I mean, Pittsburgh is a pretty bad offensive team. So I mean, I don't put too much stock into that. But I mean, nevertheless, they stopped the team on the against the run. So they got to take their wins wherever they can. But I mean, the Cowboys, man, from last year to this year, man. I mean, they was able to put up points with the best of them. I mean, they was able to go up and down the field, do what it do. I mean, they were an explosive offensive bunch. and their defense was able to get after the pass. The pass. Them pass rushers was hungry, but now I don't see it. I just don't see it whatsoever, man. The Cowboys, it's a very rude awakening. I don't see them, quite frankly, making the playoffs. They're not a good team whatsoever. They can't stop the run against actual good teams that can run the ball, not including Pittsburgh. So before everybody get on their high horse saying, "Oh, we beat the 3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers," no, just pump your brakes. The Steelers not shit. They got a running back at quarterback as well. They're gonna be in the draft looking for their next quarterback, so we can pump those brakes. But Cowboys, very disappointing, very underwhelming. If anybody has them in any type of Super Bowl talks, I mean, we need a drug test immediately. There's no way in hell that the Cowboys are even considered a top anything. Worst case scenario, they should be considered for a top 10 draft pick by the end of the year. And we're gonna start off by Sunday, 3:25 against the Detroit Lions, who are gonna rush all through y'all, and I can't wait to talk about them. And then they got their gauntlet coming up with the 49ers, then the Falcons, then the Eagles, then the Texans, then the Commanders. So it's safe to say that they're gonna get their lunch money too. If not by the team that they play next week, it's for sure gonna come. it's their time is coming. And when their time come, man, I'm gonna sit back. I'm going to put up my phone, and I'm going to call all my Cowboys, my Cowboy brothers, and we're going to have a good laugh about this because they are, once again, trash.
Yeah, they're pretenders for sure. I mean, you look at the teams that they've played so far, I mean, they have went up and again lost. Well, they've won 3 games this season so far. And their 3 wins have come against the Browns with quite possibly the worst quarterback play in the league and what they get from Deshaun Watson. The Giants, who are probably the worst team in their division, which honestly ain't saying much because the way that they played the Cowboys, they could have went New York's way. And the Steelers, who have a poor offense, a team that forced 3 turnovers in the red zone basically and still couldn't find a way to win the game. So, I mean, if there's any saving grace from Dallas, I feel a little bit higher about their defense than you do, but not by much. I like what I've seen from the linebacker, Demarion Overshown. He's a dog for sure. I think their division is a saving grace as well. The NFC East is not looking good. The Commanders do for sure, but I thought I was a big believer in what Philly could do. I look stupid as hell with what they're showcasing, and then we all know what the Giants represent, so for them to get to the postseason, it's not going to be the most difficult path in the world. And then the conference with how much variance is in the NFC. I mean, outside of maybe a handful of teams, you don't necessarily know what you're getting. I mean, we thought the San Francisco 49ers were world beaters, and now they're under 500. So, I mean, like, it's crazy. We thought teams like the Vikings will finish last in their division, and now they're undefeated. It's an interesting time, but from the offensive side of the ball, nothing that they do is impressive. I mean, Dak, he has a nice amount of yards, but I mean, I'll give him his credit. He has come up clutch against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but at the end of the day, it's nothing that gives me any fear if I'm an opponent of Dallas. It's nothing that gives me fear if I'm in a division. To me, they just look like a worse version of themselves from the past 3 seasons. For anyone that's thinking that they're going to be Super Bowl contenders this year, you're in for a rude awakening, my boy.
I'm gonna say it short and simple. Keep it short and simple. You niggas are pretenders. I know I'm a Chargers fan, but you niggas is ass. I ain't gonna lie. Like, nah, I'm playing. Nah, them boys, they pretenders for sure. This is a very off year for Dallas. It ain't looking too good over there, man. What my boy Charles say, it's looking spooky over there in Dallas, man. So, shit, I got them boys as pretenders. I don't see no type of contention for them boys, and they ain't the damn play them. It's just me being honest, like going off my opinion, off of my eyes see. So it's like, you feel me? That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's looking. Mars says it's looking spooky, and we ain't saying that because Halloween around the corner.
Facts. No cap. Y'all ready to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, moving on to the next topic, man. Who are y'all top 3 MVP candidates right now in the NFL?
Top three, man. And I mean, Pete. I mean, I don't think it's too hard of a list whatsoever. But C.J. Stroud, man. C.J. Stroud, C.J. Stroud, C.J. Stroud. I think he has to be, if not one, he's a part of that top three mix. He hasn't played his best football as of yet. He hasn't looked like he did last year, but he looked pretty damn good. And he's pretty damn better than a bunch of these quarterbacks in this league right now, man. 4-1 team, high start, third in the league in passing yards, has the number one receiver in passing and receiving yards in Nico Collins. I mean, just explosive. Just he's one hell of a quarterback, man. Number two, man. His IE brother, man, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, he's that guy. I've been trying to tell people. I don't know why nobody tried to listen to me, but Jaden Daniels is that guy. He is. I mean, he has the potential of being the best quarterback in the NFL with his dual threat ability. And like I said in previous episodes, I'm gonna say it again now. Jaden Daniels is what people want Lamar Jackson to be as a passer. He is a better passer than Lamar Jackson. And it's okay to say that. Did I say a better runner? No, I did not. Lamar Jackson has him in the running category. But as far as throwing the football, we cannot sit here and look at Jaden Daniels on our television on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays and sit here and say that Jaden Daniels does not sling the football better than Lamar Jackson does. And if you don't want to say that because it's a slim body of work, that's fine. I can take the heat or whatever people want to say. It is what it is. All I can say is as an observer watching football for as long as I have, watching Lamar for as long as I have never seen Lamar Jackson sling that rock with the confidence, with the accuracy, with the velocity, and I mean, quite frankly, he wants to throw the football. He's not looking for these quarterback runs and draws and all that stuff. I mean, he's doing it if it's need be or if it's design, but he wants to sit back and sling that rock. I mean, Jaden Daniels is to say he's a rookie, he looks nothing like that. And it's funny because he's older than C.J. Stroud. He's older than C.J. Stroud. I think he was in the class before C.J. Stroud graduated. So I mean, I guess that's coincidence. And I guess if I can go with a number one, the last candidate, my last candidate, I guess I got to go with Derrick Henry. I mean, you can say Lamar Jackson, but Derrick Henry's been for starters, he's the leading rusher in the NFL with 572. 572, 6 touchdowns, almost 6 yards a carry. I mean, we can sit here and give Lamar all the kudos, all the praise, whatever. It was a couple games Lamar Jackson threw about 15, 16 passes because he didn't have to. You know why he didn't have to? Because Big 22 is in the backfield taking up all them carry, getting all them yards, making life easier for Lamar Jackson to do what he got to do. And I know quarterbacks, this is a quarterback's award by far, but I think Derrick Henry has made the most impact on that Baltimore Ravens team. And it shouldn't even be a question why Derrick Henry is more of an MVP candidate up to this point. Not to say it's going to be like this towards the end of the year, but up to this point, than Lamar Jackson. So my top three: Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud, Derrick Henry.
Mine is similar. You got two of them, my three. I think you know where I'm going with this.
Derrick Henry and Jaden Daniels and Will Levis. Go ahead and explain why.
Man, for someone that's not a Titans fan, Will Levis stay on your mind.
No, do we have to go there with your Chris Johnson obsession back in the day and your I ain't gonna. I'm gonna let you finish your list and I'll get to your Titan love.
And whatever. CJ Stroud has been as advertised, no sophomore slump over here. I was looking at him as being a little bit more reckless with the ball this season. And to be fair, as a Texans fan, he kind of has been, but he's still putting up and producing with the yardage. They just gave him another toy to play with Stephon Diggs, and Nico Collins has ascended to finally getting the credit that he deserves. And with no running game, essentially without Joe Mixon post week 1, he's basically put the team on his back with the passing game for sure. Jaden Daniels has exceeded all of our expectations. He's a great dual threat quarterback. He's through 4 games, he was at, I believe, 82% completion percentage. And through 5, he leads the league in completion percentage. He's second in yards per attempt, and he's third in QBR. And he's doing that as a rookie. We don't know how long that'll be sustained, but I mean, for what it's worth, he is off to an electrifying start in his career. Third, you don't necessarily have to – it's not wrong that you chose Derrick Henry. I would lean towards the side of Lamar Jackson because for what it's worth, when you mentioned that Lamar Jackson has had games in which he's thrown for only 15, 16, 17 passes this season, Derrick Henry has had games in which he doesn't look like the Derrick Henry that we are accustomed to, which made us believe, wow, is this Derrick Henry that we're getting in Baltimore? Is this just them underutilizing him, or is this just him finally showing his age and a slow step in speed?
Wait, Charles, which games are you referring to that Derrick Henry didn't look like Derrick Henry outside of that first game?
The second one against the Raiders.
Was 18 for 84 and a touchdown?
Yeah. I think while those are productive numbers for sure, I don't want to sit up here and act like this love for what we're getting Derrick Henry from didn't spurt off from the week after. I mean, this man did run for almost 400 yards in 2 weeks. So I got to give him credit for that. But Lamar Jackson in the past 5 games has been playing extremely solid, even if they haven't asked him to do as much. I think they both complement each other well. But for what it's worth, Lamar Jackson 16 yards per attempt, 5th in QBR, 4th in passer rating. And with Derrick Henry first in rushing yards per game, Lamar Jackson's 8th. So, I mean, it's not like it's anything far from it. And then when you add in his passing ability, even with him not being the passer that you would like him to be, he's doing pretty damn good for what his standing is as a passer in the NFL. So I will give a little love towards Lamar. It's not a bad pick for Henry. I guess it's just a matter of, preference at this moment in time.
Lamar?
I like y'all list. That's real nice. Mine is just straight QBs. So I'm gonna start off with honorable mention. I'm gonna say CJ Stroud. I mean, he's my 40. He has been playing very great this season. I mean, he's thrown for 1,385 passing yards. He's 3rd in the league for most passing yards. Threw 7 touchdowns, tied for 10th. And he's only threw 3 interceptions, but he's tied for 42nd, so we ain't even worry about that. And he has a QBR rating of 64.4. That will go up, I feel like. But I feel like he hasn't decreased. Like his talent, his production hasn't decreased. If anything, it has increased. I feel like the Texans are still just trying to find themselves. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing pretty damn good this season. So that's how I feel about it. And then 3rd, don't cook me too bad on this one. 3rd, I got that boy Joe Burrow, man. Joe actually has been playing good this season. Chill out. Bro, just hear me out.
Joe Burrow?
He ain't been playing.
1-4.
Okay. Yeah, they 1-4. That's what I was gonna say.
1-4. They can't put no 1-4 team.
You're right. But just hear me out.
All right,
hear me out. Bro, he's through for 1,370 passing yards, bro. He's 6th right now. He's threw 12 touchdowns. He's 1st in most touchdowns for QBs right now, throwing QBs. He's only threw 2 interceptions, and he has a QBR rating of 73.6. He's ranked 2nd.
Hey, Mark.
Besides the Bengals being 1-4, let's be real. Joe has been playing pretty damn good this season, bro. I mean, we haven't seen Joe in a minute, bro. Like, he's been injured. He's been dealing with all the injuries and all the shit with the Bengals. Like, just come on, bro. Let's give Joe a little.
Hey, Mari, before you continue, I got one question to ask you, and this is on a serious note.
okay.
When was the last time you heard the good word?
Oh my god. Hey, hold on. All right, chill out. Nah, number 2.
Cook that young man.
Y'all niggas killing me. I knew
Young man.
I knew y'all was gonna kill me, but I think I had a good take on that. It's all good.
Bro, what?
I ain't even
Joe
tripping.
Burrow?
He ain't playing bad. But I feel, okay.
Bro, he is playing good. I'm not serious to say he's not, but bro, 1-4. You
I
can't
know.
say
I said this, but check me out. I said despite the Bengals' record, he's
but
been playing
they're
good.
not giving a quarterback that's has a losing record win MVP. Now, if they had a
You want me to say Sam Darnold?
huh?
You want me to say Sam Darnold?
It's off of who you think is playing the best, not off of
I feel
whether
like
everybody
Joe
else.
playing good, bro. Like that's what
No,
I'm
Joe
saying.
Burrow playing really good, but that's like the worst team in the NBA having the best player, and their team win the MVP. I mean, that player win the MVP. Like team success has to play a factor in these awards as well.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I mean,
your
I don't want to.
It's solid. You got
I
to
guess
go.
I could replace him with like. I can't.
Nah, you don't got to replace. That's your pick. You go.
I
You
would
go to
say
your next.
if I was to trade him out, I'd put either Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley. I'd say that. I don't think that's a bad take.
Saquon Barkley.
He been playing good this season. Bro, for Saquon to be injured for as long as he's been injured.
Nah,
Bro,
you good. You go to your 2-1. I'm shocked, but
This is interesting for sure.
Okay, but number two, I'm gonna say Lamar Jackson just because he has a great regular season. Y'all already know how he get, bro. You already know how Lamar get. He's been playing decent this season. I know he can play better, but at number one, bro, Jaden Daniels. He's been taking off this season. I mean, what is there to say about this man, bro? Dual threat QB. I mean, he can sling that hoe. He can run. He fast as hell. He can run all around the field. You know what I'm saying? He's just been killing it. And this is just a rookie. That's what's crazy. So like, if he don't win MVP, bro, he's for sure gonna be like offensive player. I mean, not offensive player of the year. Like, do they have like the rookie of the year shit?
yeah, he gonna win that. Huh?
Yeah, rookie. Either him or Malik
That's a
Neighbors.
rookie of the year.
Yeah, he might get offensive rookie of the year. Either him or Malik gonna get that out. But yeah, that's my top three, top four, whatever.
Yikes. I mean, that was interesting for sure. I mean, Joe Burrow, and then you said Saquon or Derrick Henry. If that was your be a replacement, I mean, Derrick Henry weren't a bad pick, but I mean,
Yeah, Saquon ain't better. I mean, well, yeah, he's. Yeah,
I mean, we can have that discussion another day, but your list was for sure interesting. For sure, you had some
You know me. I gotta be a little different, bro.
That's cool. We can go on to the next topic.
What is the time on the show? 1:52:48. All right, bet. All right, moving on to the next topic, man. We got the week 6 predictions. Damn, let me pull these others up. Week 6. Yeah, we got the week 6 predictions. First game, we got the 49ers versus the Seahawks. Who y'all got, man?
I got Seattle.
I got Seattle winning that mug, too.
Yeah, I don't like what I see from San Fran, so, I mean, until further notice, I got Seattle, man.
All right, cool. Next, we got the Bears versus the Jaguars. I got the Bears.
Bears for sure. Jaguars.
Bucket.
I got Chicago. They improving offensively, and Jacksonville just benefited from playing one of the worst defenses in the NFL and the coach. So, give me the Bears.
Who the Jaguars beat? They won it for.
They beat the Colts.
They beat who?
The Colts.
Come on, bro. All right, next game, man. We got the Cardinals versus the Packers. I got the Packers winning.
I got, man. You know what? Give me Arizona. Give me Arizona. I'm going Arizona. I don't like Jordan. I don't like what I've been seeing from Jordan Love.
I think he's still getting into his groove. Cardinals is real scrappy, but, I like cheese. Give me the Packers, man.
I like cheese. This is stupid. All right, next game. We got the Chargers versus the Broncos. Man,
Broncos all the way. That's gonna be a blowout. That's gonna
I don't know about no blowout.
That's gonna be built to ass for sure.
God damn it, Justin Herbert, you better not let Bo Nix outplay you. I know that. You better not.
That ain't gonna happen. It's gonna be Surtain and Riley Moss.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I got the Chargers winning. I feel like the Colts, they're a very good defensive team. So
You said the Colts or the Broncos?
not the Colts. I'm sorry. Damn it, my fault. They both like, you know what I'm saying, horses and shit. I got the Broncos. Okay, the Broncos. The Broncos, bro, they have a very good defensive team, fam. So it's like it's gonna be tough. But I got the Chargers winning. I don't give a fuck. I got the Chargers winning that.
I got Denver, man.
If we lose, it's by a touchdown or like goddamn my hair, like.
Nah, it's gonna be better ass, but
It's gonna be a good game.
It's gonna be a good game, bro.
It's gonna be BTA.
Come on, bro. Y'all said it's gonna be built as we played the best team in the league and we lost by a touchdown.
Nah, we ain't say that. We said it's gonna be close to that game.
No, y'all said it was gonna be built as. I remember. Because but anyway, next game we got the Lions versus the Cowboys. I got
Lions blowout.
BTA.
Run for 250 on them. Blowout football.
That's an ass whooping. I feel like. Well, it's gonna,
Charles finna hit him with. I'm gonna be different.
Nah,
Go Cowboys, go.
Bro, I could be different all I want, but it's a matter of being different or being smart. I don't want to be stupid. I got the Lions.
Nah, he not going for his team.
all right, next game we got the Bengals versus the Giants. There's
no way they losing this one.
There's no fucking way that y'all go 1-5 after this game. You like, I ain't gonna lie, Joe. You should throw for like 300 on these niggas, please.
It's
like,
funny though, because they beat Seattle, and we thought Seattle was something. So it's like,
but I mean, Malik Neighbors torched their ass though. So it's like,
shoot, Neighbors didn't play.
Oh, my fault. Damn. Well, I don't know.
And Tracy.
I ain't gonna lie.
It's kind of.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
We going to New York.
Go G-Man.
Oh, man.
Upset of the week goes to Charles Versea.
I feel like he might be on something, man. I don't know. Next game, we got the Texans versus the Patriots. I got the Texans putting that belt to ash. Like, yeah.
I said, Drake May, I'm sorry for you, my brother.
Now, Drake May, I hope you play good. You know what I'm saying? I've been vouching for you since the draft. I fuck with you, so I hope you play good. He ain't gonna see this, but shit, I hope he play good. Well, of course, I know who y'all got. Y'all both got the Texans.
I got a NASA shirt on, man. You know what it is.
New England is the base of NASA. So.
Oh, this gonna be a good game, boy.
And we call space.
The Commanders versus the Ravens. Who do y'all got?
That's gonna be. We getting on the pod right after that game. I'm going. Go Commanders, go Commanders, go Commanders, go.
Ooh, shit.
You gonna prove me right, and I'm gonna come on this podcast and I'm gonna talk spicy, and I want everybody to be loud, and I want them to be present for what I'm about to say when they beat them. I'm going Commanders all day, every day.
Man, fuck it, I got the upset. I got the Commanders winning that hoe.
So I guess I'm the only one that's got to stand on business, huh?
Just stand on business. Hell no.
I got Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Next game, man, we got the Browns versus the Eagles.
I got the Eagles by here.
I got the Eagles winning that hoe.
Yeah, it's Philly. Browns look terrible.
Yeah, 1-4. Yeah, not really good. Next game, we got the Buccaneers versus the Saints. I got the Buccaneers winning that hoe.
Buccaneers putting belt to ass. Backup quarterback, no Derek Carr. Say goodbye to your season unless Spencer Rattler comes in and be a game changer.
They got Taysom Hill at backup, or
no?
He's still tight end.
Jake Hayner or Spencer Rattler is gonna probably be.
Ooh, Spence! Oh shit! I ain't gonna lie. I've been wanting to see Spence.
That could be your favorite team now. I already know.
I got Tampa Bay, man. Baker finna put on a fake show.
Nah, facts. Next game, man, we got the Colts versus Charles team, man. The Titans, bro. Who y'all got?
Oh, dang, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. Charles team versus them. I got the Colts, man. Joe Flacco, Charles. I know you don't want to hear. He gonna torch your boy Jarius and Kenan Murray and all them, man. I got
I forgot Murray play for them boys now. I got the Colts winning this hard though.
Charles and be like, I guess I gotta be the only one to stand on business.
No, he loved them damn Titans.
Oh God.
Y'all ain't gonna believe it, but Charles told me at the game that, bro, I'm really a Titans fan. Like, nah, I'm fucking with you.
Duh.
No.
You see, what I say earlier, it's a difference between smart and being different and being smart.
Yeah.
You see, I can't believe I'm doing this. I got the Titans.
We got him, Tyler. We got him.
Let's go.
Bro, what am I? Okay, look, listen. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just predict that they go 0-16 just so that I could prove a point? No, I think the Titans and the Colts are on an equal level, and I think Tennessee is going to walk away with the upset. It's not my team. I got
you for your team. It's cool.
No,
we appreciate the honesty.
Question: Who's the Titans running back?
Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears.
Oh, okay. That's a solid little. Okay.
He knew that off the back of his hand.
Real
Titans knowledge to know it right there.
And who? Is Will Levis? Is Will Levis today QB or is it
I think he got hurt, but
what's guy name? Yeah, he hurt his shoulder. What's the dude name? He played for it was Rudolph. Was it Mason Rudolph? Yeah. But next game, man, we got the Steelers versus the Raiders. Oh, that's low key. That's gonna be a good game too.
That's gonna be a shitty bowl. I got the Steelers by a field goal. It ain't gonna be a good game whatsoever. But with Gardner Minshew being benched, I feel bad. They don't got no stability at their quarterback position. I'm going.
What? He got benched? Oh shit! Who took his spot?
Aiden
O'Connell.
Nah, I got the Steelers winning that bitch. I ain't gonna lie. That boy, Justin Fields gonna have a field day, probably. Yeah, unless Max just come through that whole rocking his ass.
But the Steelers can mess around and win this game with Russ at quarterback. It ain't looking good for the Raiders. I'm not gonna lie.
Thanks. Next game, man, we got the Falcons versus the Panthers. I got the Falcons beating the hell out of the Panthers. just. Bro, what curve stomping for sure. Oh, they got Carolina. That's crazy. They got Carolina winning this game. They got plus 210. That's insane.
I got Atlanta for sure.
I got Atlanta. What? Kirk finna go crazy. What?
The Falcons are the biggest bird.
Nah,
so you gotta go with the Predator and the Panther.
Nah. Hell no.
This nigga Tyler is funny, bro.
Nah, I got ATL.
You got ATL. Man,
I feel like yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I feel like
you.
Next game, man, we got the Bills versus the Jets. I feel like this is an easy game for the Bills.
Bills by far.
Yeah, Bills should win this game, especially with everything that's going on with the Jets right now. Yeah, Bills should win this game.
Yeah, I got Buffalo. They desperate. They better. And if they don't win, they in the world of trouble.
Thanks. We're going to look at that. Crazy hell. All right, but that's it, bro. That's it for the Week 6 predictions, man. So.
And with that being said, man, that's it for this episode of Check the Stats Podcast, episode 25, man. Versea, Omari, appreciate y'all boys coming out, man. Like I said, y'all made it to the end of the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Show love in the comments, man. We read all your comments. We appreciate all the love. Even if it's not the most positive messages, it's okay. We grown. We can take it. But be on the lookout soon, man. We got a lot of big drops coming soon. A lot of big news coming real soon. Make sure y'all keep an eye out for all the information that's coming out with this podcast, man. It's only the beginning, man. And like you said, Charles, you can take it away from here.
You already know what it is. If you need the facts, check the stats.
Yes, sir. Believe that. Signing out.